Hi, everybody. Welcome to Somewhere in October. I'm Alex, and I'm going to review Friday the 13th, the 1980 version. So, the first Friday the 13th I've actually watched and paid attention to. I'm a note taker. I'm documenting everything on this series. Because this movie came out a long time ago, this one's going to have spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and come back. If you're not going to watch it, maybe watch it after this. And if you've already watched it, enjoy my notes. The first thing I'm going to say is I've watched some lore or like rankings of the Friday the 13th series, and I knew to have low expectations for this movie. I think that made the movie more enjoyable for me. I didn't expect it to be like something that was going to shock me and make me feel, wow, what a movie. But I actually enjoyed the viewing experience. I enjoyed it. I like that sometimes we were in with the camp counselors and we were kind of living in that view. And then the killer, we would be seeing them from the POV. Because I'm like, I know it's Jason. Like, when am I going to see Jason? And if you've seen this movie, you know I don't really see Jason. I definitely don't see the hockey mask. I like the intro. I think it was unsettling. I don't think it was scary. I will say at the end, when it was shown that it was Pamela, I appreciated the beginning more because it made sense why the kids or the counselors, I don't know how old they are, teens, they weren't super scared when she came in the room. Because for me, I was like, is the acting bad? Like, are they just not scared? Is Jason not terrifying to you? But then I realized that that was purposeful because they actually weren't super scared when they seen her. She's not like a terrifying presence, even though when they do those zoom ins, Jason's talking through her, whatever she's doing, a bit spooky, creepy at least. So I actually really enjoyed that. I came to appreciate that more. I guessed Alice was going to be the final girl. I took a stab at that. I guessed that. I said, if it's not her, it's going to be Annie. Annie dies first, was not Annie. So when she was killed in the woods, that was the first kill. I watched the uncut version. It still wasn't very, like, uncut, I guess. It wasn't super terrifying or gory. I could handle it. One thing I did like is when they were all out swimming, and they showed the killer looking through the trees, and I think they either had their hand on, like, a branch or they moved something, and there was this big chunky ring on the finger. When I saw that, first I actually thought, like, maybe Jason is possessing someone, or there's, like, multiple killers, because I was like, Jason's not wearing a ring. Like, come on. And it was funny because Alice actually had big chunky rings, but I was like, it can't be her. And I also like that they used the Jeep. So I think his name was Steve, was the mustache guy who was at the cafe in the yellow jacket who came back. He also drove a Jeep. So when Annie got picked up and murdered by the person in the Jeep, also driving, I was like, Jason doesn't drive. I was so confused at what was going to happen. So when he got in his Jeep, I was like, he's the killer. It really did kind of have that whodunit aspect. Even as somebody who knows the lore and knows that Jason exists, I was still like, who done it? Yeah, I wrote the acting is chaotic. I mean, the acting is not like 10 out of 10. I also don't think the substance to the story is completely 10 out of 10. I didn't like how isolated and drawn out it was. I think like you could have done the unsuspecting kill for the first couple, but then very quickly made everybody terrified and aware. Yeah, I think Alice was the final girl before she even knew the final girl was possible. And let's not forget, they found a bloody axe in the bed, all their friends are missing, and they're like, it's kind of spooky, but it's probably nothing. I'm like, come on. I like these quotes apparently. We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness out here. And you're doomed. You're all doomed. Oh yeah, that freaky guy. I forgot about him. The guy on the bike who was trying to warn Annie, and then he just ended up being in the pantry. I didn't for 1 second think he was the killer. I don't know if they were trying to get you to think that, but it's kind of funny that they were pretty chill about finding him in the pantry. Okay, I did like the dead Ned reveal because we seen Ned go into the cabin and we didn't see him get killed, and I was kind of like, did you just rob us of that? I didn't love that we didn't get to see it, which is crazy coming from me. I didn't think I would ever want to see it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get in horror. The reveal, like the slow pan and him being up there, I really, really enjoyed. I don't know how I feel. I kind of like that how Kevin Bacon's character was taken out, but he didn't really realize what was happening. Like, some blood fell on his head, but he didn't know Ned was dead. There's so many rhymes there. There was no suspense, I guess. I had a little bit of suspense in the bathroom during those scenes, but I would have liked the characters to be more suspense. I would have liked them to be a little bit more worried, and I think it would have paid off on how I feel. I don't know her name because it's not Annie, Alice, or Brenda, the other girl who got the axe to the head. The payoff wasn't enough. There was so much suspense, and I think that kill, the payoff was just like It just happened. The ooh. I literally wrote that in quotations. And I stayed a lot in my first watch. They had when things were going to happen. And like sometimes that takes you out of the moment, but I kind of loved it. But because it was campy, I didn't think it was like scary. I did really like the bow and arrow foreshadowing. So at the beginning where Ned is playing around and Brenda's like, oh, you could have shot me, ha ha. But I think we should have seen her get pinned to the archery board. I think that would have been the full payoff of that. I literally wrote an hour in and they start finding out there's a killer. I think that burn is a little bit too slow for me. And yeah, I wrote a question that I want answered, and I guess I'll have to look it up or you can tell me, but were final girls always a thing? Like, who was the first final girl and why final girls? Like, why is it such a thing? Alice, I wrote, was a 7 out of 10 final girl for me. She was owning it, and then when she seen Brenda's body, she dropped all the weapons and just cried, which I probably would too, to be fair. But I was like, girl, where's your confidence? Like, where's your fight? Where's your will to live? And then when she was in the pantry and she faced away from the doorknob, what are you doing? You are a prey in a predator moment. Pay attention. The jump scares got me, okay? Like I said in my tier list, I am super gullible, super on edge, high strung, which makes me a good viewing experience, you know? So the jump scares definitely got me. Phil on the door. That was a good one. That was a fulfilling payoff when we didn't really get to see the kill because that was a great tonal shift for the movie. And then I was like, is it Pam? So I think that plot twist would have been a little bit more like, oh my God, if I didn't know that Jason was Jason Voorhees, because she was like, I'm Pamela Voorhees, and I wouldn't have recognized the name maybe, but I still think it really got me because when I was like, damn, it's Pam. Pam's the killer in this. Jason's not even the killer in this. It's Pam. That did actually like get me. Even though I feel like all the kills she was doing, like if you look, Phil being hung up on the door with everything, and yet, you know, you hit her with an oar and she topples over and she trips a lot. It seemed like kind of inconsistent. Is she possessed by the energy of Jason? Is Jason helping her? Or is she just her? Because it's not adding up. It's not consistent for me. And maybe I missed something. And I wrote the decapitation, the like head off, was so fulfilling for me because that was so drawn out. But the editing of it was hilarious. Like I think I actually laughed in my watch with me, which is not going to happen often when I see gore, but that was kind of funny. But I know that it was supposed to be like dramatic and serious, and at the time probably was. And then the ending. We have to talk about the ending. I got a fright. Okay, I got a fright. But that should have been it. Cut to the credits, end screen. That's it. Maybe it was because it was a different time. Maybe we thought everybody was a little bit too dumb to understand that that meant that was Jason. Jason is still here. There's going to be another movie. Because this whole dream coma, like, sequence thing they had was basically just to set up that there's still a killer. He's still there. The boy, Jason, he lives. To set up, like, a second movie or, like, a villain arc, basically. I don't think we needed that. I think seeing something jump out of the freaking water and pulling Alice down is enough to be like, you know what? Something spooky can probably happen here again. I think if it would have just cut, it would have been a much better ending because I know that it definitely watered it down for me. By the way, thank you everybody who's supporting me. I am so appreciative of it because when I started this, I was like, the fact that I'm a newbie is either going to work out really well for me because like we're starting from the bottom. Like I have unlimited things I can share with you in film. But I also was like, who gives a shit what I think because I don't know anything, but you guys have really shown me that it's exciting to see people. And I know that's true because I love watching, like first time watching. I watched Jack and Dan react to Sinister because that's one of the movies I've actually watched before. The lawnmower scene, loved it. So I know there's enjoyment in it. I just want to say thank you. So I'll see you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about this movie. And let me know your favorite of the franchise because I'm kind of interested to see what my favorite's going to be.